Why didn't the Ottomans assimilate Egypt and other such areas into Turkish culture? To what extent was Turkish spoken in the Ottoman Empire? So, Turkish, first of all, let us define Turkish. There were various varieties of Turkish. There were various Turkic dialects. So, in various parts of what is now Turkey, you had various dialects and various forms of Turkish or Turkic languages that were spoken. And there was something called Ottoman Turkish, which was the Turkish language spoken in the Ottoman court, the court language. And that was a mixture of Turkic plus Persian plus Arabic, all combined together into one new form of the language called Ottoman Turkish, which is the origin mostly of today's Turkish language. So that was the Ottoman Turkish language. Now, when the Ottomans absorbed all these other territories like Egypt, like Syria, like Iraq, etc., into their empire, they absorbed territories that spoke different languages. So Egypt had been ruled by the Mamluks from the 13th century all the way to the 16th century. It was in the 16th century, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that the Ottomans conquered Egypt. Ottoman conquest of Egypt. Ottoman conquest of Egypt. 15 something, right? 1517. 1517. Okay. So that's the 16th century. The Mamluk Sultanate, it begins, Mamluk Sultanate of Egypt is beginning of the 13th century, right? 13th century. Okay, 1250 to 1517. So 13th century, right? So the Mamluk Sultanate had thoroughly Islamized and Arabized Egypt. So by the time the Ottomans conquered Egypt, the Mamluk Sultanate had been in power for about 250 years, more than 250 years. And Egypt was thoroughly Islamized and Arabized. So the entire society of Egypt spoke Arabic, and the leadership structure and the bureaucracy and administrative structure of Egypt was all done, all of it spoke Arabic, and all of it was done in Arabic. So what the Turks did is they did not dismantle the existing structures. They simply put a new layer of governance on top of that. And that top level governance was done in the Turkish language. So Turkish became the language of the elites of Egypt and across the Ottoman Empire. And they allowed everything else to proceed in whatever languages already existed. So in Syria, in Iraq, they would have continued with those versions of Arabic. When it comes to going westwards, when it came to what they called Rumelia, which is the Balkan region, the Balkans, where you have Serbia, etc., they allowed the local languages to continue, but all the local people, they had to, when they interfaced with the Ottoman Empire, they had to do that in the Ottoman Turkish language. So during the Ottoman Empire's time, there were three major languages essentially in the Ottoman Empire. The language of empire and administration and control and power was Ottoman Turkish. The language of literature was Persian. And the language of religion was Arabic. And that's how it was in the Ottoman Empire. The Ottomans never tried to impose their language on the common people. What they insisted on was the religion. So they sought to unify their empire through religion, not language. And wherever they conquered, they imposed the Islamic religion on the people. You can see the effects of that in the Balkans also, Albania and Bosnia and so on. That's the legacy of the Ottoman Empire. So they had so many other subjects. They had the Armenians who continued speaking Armenian. There were the Kurds who continued speaking Kurdish, and so on. So the Ottomans were not imperialistic in terms of language. They were imperialistic in terms of religion. And they were okay with other languages being spoken as long as the language of command and control and administration was Turkish. So that's how it was during the Ottoman Empire. And that's why Egypt never became a Turkish-speaking nation.